Hey everybody, it's me, Rumi, the comic book poser, and I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's been a long while since I've left you without a dope beat to step to. I think that's what that song means. It's Tuesday. It's been a while, so you know what that means. I'm here to talk to you about all of the dope books that I'm picking up on this week's new comic book day, Wednesday the 15th of December. I don't know days anymore, but I have known days all year. So, to figure out what I'm going to pick up and what I think you should read along with me, you'll check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Two quick things. Number one, on Wednesday, my CS7 box drops. I'm very excited to show off the awesome things that I got from someone who could read me like an open book that I also had a weird connection to, because I might have sent a box to the other half of that channel. On Thursday, we got Shop Talk at 9:30, where we're going to talk about maybe the only con of 2021 that you need to care about, and some dope books that have come out this week, and Shenanigans Sunday will finally be back. I know I've said that for 2 weeks now, but we're rare and ready to go as an extension of the con. So, let's talk about what books you might hear us chat about on Shop Talk this week. First up, we get ASM number 81. I have really enjoyed all of the different titles that have come out as part of this Beyond arc. I love the idea of the Peter Parker versus Ben Reilly storyline, and that's taken a little bit of a back seat because Parker was recovering from the radiation stuff that he had to deal with from the second issue of this new Spider-Man run. So if we're seeing Spider-Man versus Spider-Man, we finally get to watch maybe another battle between Parker and Riley. In terms of looking at the Spider-Man on the cover, is it someone different? Is that black suit a souped-up Miles? I'm excited to see if it's Peter versus Ben, if it's somebody else versus Ben. I'm gung-ho because this has been an amazing ride so far. From DC, we get Batman, The Adventures Continue, Season 2, Number 7. Again, if you love Batman, the animated series, then you're going to love what is happening in this. That is that good nostalgia porn in the same way the Batman 89 is reaching out to you if you really loved, the original Michael Keaton, why can't I think of his name? The goddamn Nightmare Before Christmas guy. Tim Burton, Batman universe. Next up from Cave Studios is Bountiful Garden number 4. I've enjoyed seeing what is happening both ship side and planet side as the kids are trying to figure out what they're dealing with. That again, this might be slowly edging up or maybe almost edging out. Nottingham is my favorite, and it's not getting the hype that Nottingham did, but I think it's a really good sci-fi story. From Boom Studios is Berserker number 6. Is this the first book of the new arc? It feels like it's been a while since we've gotten some down low on what's going on with B. This has probably been one of the most surprising books from 2021 to me, that I think we all kind of looked at this and were like, okay, Keanu Reeves is writing a comic. But really looking at what has been happening in this series, I think we've all enjoyed more payoffs than we expected. From Dark Horse, we get Cloaked number 1. We are seeing a black masked hero coming out and fighting crime or declaring war on crime 25 years ago. And then he had to deal with some shit. So I'm excited to see what happens on this new kind of darker take of vigilantism from Dark Horse. And I feel like I'm not reading as much Dark Horse as I was, at this point last year. So I need to get some more Dark Horse books under my belt. Next up from Image, we get Deep Beyond number 11. It says it's the penultimate issue, and I'm going to be very sad when this series is gone, or if it's gone, really, after 12 issues. But, we're starting to see all of the different things that have been plaguing the planet, plaguing the species, all of the different political and scientific conflicts. So, as we are starting to see the beginning of the end, is there hope for humanity, or are we all, fucked? From Marvel, we get back-to-back X-Men titles. We get Demon Days Rising Storm number 1. Again, I've been enjoying all of the things that Peach Momoko has been doing with her take on Marvel characters, not only in a Japanese folklore storytelling style, but again, the art in these books is just breathtaking. So if you are looking for something that feels like, you know, older or ancient period art from Japan, this is really where, you know, Peach Momoko is kind of singing it her high to me. Excalibur 26, I'm behind again. I was almost caught up on X-Men, and then there was a deluge of X-Men books. From Aftershock Comics, we get Heathens #2. I really enjoyed the first book of this series, that, you know, we're getting all of these different kind of bad personalities throughout history trying to find ways to fight against other negative influences. That I enjoyed this first book a lot more than I thought it would, and I'm excited to see how they kind of play with villains or anti-heroes throughout the rest of history in this series. From Marvel, we've got Hulk #2. I was taken aback by how good issue #1 was, and I, by, you know, all shapes and forms, am not the world's biggest Hulk fan or avid Hulk reader. That I had read a couple of the things that Ewing had done in The Incredible Hulk, but the premise of this, of, you know, instead of Bruce Banner, the man, being taken over by the Hulk and not being able to explain his actions, if the Hulk is kind of a dick because Bruce Banner is a dick, this is very interesting kind of juxtaposition, and I talked about it when issue 1 came out on that episode of Shop Talk, and I'm excited to see if J1 and Jelly have gotten caught up with this as well. From DC, we've got Joker #10. I like the interplay that we've been seeing with this from elements of Batman history, so looking at kind of James Gordon replaying elements from his life, I'm intrigued to see how the Killing Joke now plays into this, especially since the end of that led to, you know, the path that changed Commissioner Gordon's life forever because of what happened to his daughter. That I want to see how this kind of connects to the current chase story between Detective Gordon and the Joker. Next up from Behemoth is Night Janek #1. You can just end this by reading this description at the question mark. What if Zelda and Conan had a child? Yeah. This looks crazy. I've really been enjoying the things that have come out from both Behemoth and the Happy Tank imprint of recent, and this is a Happy Tank book, so I'm excited for more. From Dark Horse, we get Jeff Lemire's Maze book #4. #3 really set its hooks in me, that we're starting to see the father start to find the labyrinth, so maybe we're getting more elements of this playing its way out, seeing if we can find some more significance of the red line as he continues to trace his daughter. But this series is kind of panning out in the way that if you really enjoy Jeff Lemire, then you should be enjoying what's happening in this book. From Aftershock, we get My Date with Monsters #2. This was the book that I had listed on my pull list twice when it came out, as both Croak #1 and My Date with Monsters #1. I was kind of intrigued by what's happening in terms of, like, the monstrous personality that kind of lingers as this woman can protect her daughter. Pretty cool. So as we're starting to see kind of the absurdity in this world continue to rise and threats continue to rise, I want to see how this plays its way out. Next from Image, we've got Newburn #2. Y'all know that I'm a huge Chip Zdarsky stan, and I'm barely, you know, 1,000,000% familiar with what a stan means, but I like him a lot. I really enjoyed issue #1, kind of looking at the intricacies of the relationship that the detective had with the mob and the new person that he was meeting. So as we start to look at the relationship dynamics of looking at Newburn and his legitimacy that may or may not exist as a detective tied to the mob, maybe something that, you know, continues to make this story something that could be interesting in a you know, variety of different ways. From AWA Upshot, we've got Out #3. Again, you like Nazis, you like zombies, you like vampires, then this is going to be an interesting kind of tale. I've enjoyed the first 2 books quite a lot, so I want to see what continues to happen in this series as we kind of get a little bit of a reprieve from some of the books that have dealt exclusively in kind of the Resistance universe. Our second Behemoth book of the week is Popstar Assassin #3. I've really kind of enjoyed the irreverent action that has happened in this. I kind of enjoy the throwback chromatic scheme of the art and color in this book that, you know, it's kind of in the same direction of me enjoying Scumbag and Space Bastards in terms of both the way the story is told and the way that the art kind of will ramp it up at times, but then also be oddly, like, over-the-top sensitized at times, has made this a good read. From Image, we've got Primordial number 4. After issue number 3 came out, Jelly and I were willing to talk about how right we thought KM was in terms of looking at the way that the animals may be communicating with one another. That I'm kind of excited to see, as we've theorized on Shop Talk about this book, who's going to be right in terms of the final destination of this story. From Boom Studios, we've got Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body number 2. Issue number 1 was just okay to me, and that was something that's kind of shocking, since I am both a fan of the writer and primary artist on this book, but you also know that I'm a sucker for conspiracy theories, that bits and pieces of issue number 1 felt at times like it might have been a bit of an overreach to me, so I want to see what we get in issue number 2, that it might be the make or break for me in terms of continuing to pull this book in the future. I think this is our only Vault book of the week, The Rush number 2. We're dealing with wild shit happening in the Yukon. That book number 1, in terms of Nettie, hunting for the fate of her son, is something that was very, very intriguing to me, especially looking at all of the dynamics of what she was discovering as she was traveling, not just to the Yukon territory, but across it as well. So I want to see what life is like as she continues on the hunt for her son. From Marvel, we get The Thing number 2. Issue number 1 was intriguing to me in terms of it attempting to be retelling of parts of a classic Fantastic Four story, I think. But I'm willing to give this issue, or this series, you know, maybe a couple of chances, mostly because I feel like The Thing is a character that I want to like and should like. I'm just naive to a lot of, you know, drama surrounding. From Image, we get Time Before Time number 8. Again, I've been enjoying this series as we look at our detectives who hop across different periods of time in terms of dealing with being members of, like, a time FBI, but then also having to work with or against a time mafia. It's been an intriguing read. I also feel like it's been 2 months since we've seen an issue, but again, I don't understand what time looks like now, so maybe I might need to reread issue number 7 before I hop back into 8. One of the books that I'm overly excited for, I think if you know or have gotten to know my reading preferences over the last, 2.5 years, I'm a huge Wolverine fan, so to check out Wastelanders, Wolverine number 1, we get hints of Old Man Logan. We are getting to look at the Wastelands. Again, this is going to kind of maybe make the decision for me if I want to actually subscribe, or I think, I have to pay for the Wastelanders podcast that is happening right now, that I'm super intrigued to see what's going on. I lied. We got 2 Vault books this week. We Ride Titans number 1 is coming out. So this book looked like Fast and the Furious meets Kaiju Score. I'm ready to check that out, and even if that comparison is wrong, I like Kaiju stories. I didn't know that about myself. I like Kaiju stories, and I'm excited about this book. And then our last issue of the week is X-Force number 26. Again, behind. Ips. Normally I would also throw in my Here's What Scout books are coming out this week, but I forgot to pull it up. My Scout box is sitting right there, so I'm excited to check out what's coming out in December and maybe early January. So, you see a Scout book, buy it, because Scout is on fire right now. And you'll see how I've been feeling about Scout in the year of our Lord 2021 as we get to the end of the year wrap-ups that I plan on starting to record once I don't have to actively teach anymore for a couple of weeks. What do you think? Are there any books that I'm not picking up that you think I should? I'm sure you're letting me know in the chat over here, or you're letting me know in the comments down below if you're watching this on the Rewind. Don't forget how you can check me out the rest of the week. And as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.